Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bridge the Math, the podcast where we untangle the world of mathematics and make it less intimidating, one episode at a time. I'm Lerato, your host, maths tutor, and academic coach. Today, we're tackling a big question. Why does maths have such a bad reputation? If you mention the word maths in a room full of people, you're almost guaranteed to hear groans or stories of frustration. It's a subject that people love to hate. But why is that? In this episode, we'll explore some of the reasons maths gets such a bad reputation, from the way it's taught in schools to the emotional baggage many of us carry from bad experiences with it. Most importantly, we'll talk about how we can change this narrative for students, professionals, and anyone else who's ever felt like they're not good enough to be good at maths. Let's start with the obvious. Maths is hard. Or at least that's what we've been told. From a young age, maths is framed as something only smart people can excel at. Phrases like, "I'm just not a maths person," are common and often accepted without question. But this mindset is part of the problem. So here are some of the biggest reasons maths has developed its bad reputation. The first one, which I think is the biggest reason, is the way that maths is taught. For many students, maths is taught as a series of rigid rules and procedures without much explanation of why those rules work. It's often more about memorizing formulas than understanding concepts, which makes it feel mechanical and disconnected from real life. The second reason is the high stakes and pressure often associated with maths. Maths tests are often timed high-pressure situations. I mean, it's life and death. If you make a mistake, it feels like the end of the world. This pressure can create anxiety, which makes it even harder to perform well, and so the cycle continues. The third reason is past experiences with maths. Many people carry emotional scars from bad experiences with maths. Maybe you had a teacher who was impatient, or classmates who made you feel stupid for asking questions. Those moments stick with you and shape how you see yourself in relation to maths. The fourth reason is maths as a gatekeeper. Maths is often positioned as a barrier to success. Want to get into a good university program? Pass advanced maths. Want a career in tech or engineering? Master calculus. Instead of being seen as a tool for growth, maths becomes something people dread because of what's at stake. And the last one, which I think is, the biggest carrier of the bad reputation that maths has, is cultural narratives. In movies and media, maths is often portrayed as boring, difficult, or only for geniuses. Rarely do we see characters excited about solving equations or using maths creatively. These stereotypes feed into the belief that maths isn't for everyone. Now, all of this affects everyone. It affects everyone. When maths has a bad reputation, it doesn't just affect students. Adults who might want to pivot into maths-intensive careers avoid doing so because of lingering fear or doubt. Parents might unintentionally pass on their own anxieties to their kids, saying things like, "I was never good at maths either." This creates a ripple effect that makes the subject feel more intimidating than it really is. And the real tragedy here is that maths is an incredible tool for problem solving, for critical thinking, and for creativity, surprisingly. When we write it off as too hard or not for me, we're closing ourselves off to opportunities to grow and succeed. So how can we change this narrative? How do we break this cycle and give maths the reputation it deserves? Here are a few ideas of how we can do that. The first one is teaching maths as a language. Maths isn't just numbers and formulas. It's a way of communicating and solving problems. If we focus on understanding its grammar and vocabulary, students can start to see maths as something they can master, not something to fear. The second idea is that we can create safe learning environments. Students need spaces where they can ask questions without fear of judgment. As educators and parents, we can encourage curiosity and celebrate progress, even if it's small. The third idea is to connect maths to real life, to remove it from this abstract thing where it's x plus y and imaginary numbers, to concepts that we can apply to real life situations. So one of the best ways to make maths less intimidating is to show how it applies to everyday life, whether it's calculating a budget, analyzing data, or even understanding music and art through the lens of mathematics. The fourth idea that we can implement is to normalize mistakes. Mistakes are a part of learning, not a reflection of your intelligence. So reframing failure as a step toward growth can make maths feel more approachable and less stressful. And the fifth idea is to offer emotional and academic support, which is something that I already do. Programs like my premium coaching package are designed to address both the technical and emotional barriers to success in maths. We work on building confidence, understanding concepts deeply, and overcoming anxiety so you can thrive academically and beyond. Thank you for joining me for today's episode of Bridge the Math. If maths has ever felt like your nemesis, I hope this episode has shown you that the problem isn't you. It's the way maths has been presented to you. With the right mindset and support, anyone can succeed in maths. I truly believe this. If you're ready to change your relationship with maths or know someone who could benefit from compassionate expert support, I'd love to help. Please visit mathbridgeacademy.com or email me at admin@mathbridgeacademy.com to learn more. Let's rewrite the story of maths together. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and remember, maths is for everyone.